Hello everyone out there on YouTube, this is Preach Riley. Here I'm bringing you a little gameplay of the Broncos versus the Panthers. This is one of my first games after getting into the 600 skill range, and to a point it was a little bit of awakening for me. Up till here, I hadn't really played too much of a team like the Panthers. Really, most people played Baltimore or 49ers. There were some exceptions, but it wasn't until the 600s that I started meeting people that played other teams. And what that meant is that their skill level was generally a little better as well than the competition that I had previously faced. That they didn't depend solely on having a cheese team in order to get a win. So their skill level was definitely above mine. The question is going to be, and that was true even in 500, but the question is going to be how much can Debo and the offensive guide that I was using by Kilo, how much would those two things help me to overcome the fact that my opponent's skill level was better? Now here in this game, again I'm working on a lot out of the strong close and so forth. I was really comfortable with the I form out of the Kilo ebook, but I wanted to progress through the ebook. So I would do the I form, and I would try to stay in I form or I form tight throughout the whole game, no matter what would happen. And then I would go to strong close, and I would do the same. I try to stay in that formation, no matter what, to get more comfortable with the formation. And then and then so forth. When I got into shotgun, I would try to stay in one formation. That was what I would do because of the fact that I would not lab outside of the rank games. I use the rank games as my lab games, as my practice, which is why you're going to see which is one of the reasons why you're going to see a lot of really bad reads. I'm just not comfortable with the reads with the progression because I have not practiced and labbed them sufficiently. I wasn't really worried about skill points as much as I was about improving. And so, could I have progressed as far as skill points quicker? Yes, absolutely. I believe I could have if I would have spent more time, in practice or playing against the computer, getting my reads down better, getting my setups quicker, and so forth. And then going into the ranked games, I think I would have won a higher percentage of my rankings. However, those things just don't prepare you for playing a player as much. It can help you if you're trying to get your reads down, but as far as adjustments that you might face from your computer, from your opponent, and the things that they might do, that just doesn't prepare you for that. So I wanted the whole point of this series and what I was doing here was to lead me up for Madden 25, to make me a better player so that when Madden 25 came along, that I would be able to compete at a higher level. Maybe not on a level of the top players, but certainly starting off on a mid to above average player and then going from there. So that was my goal. And I think that I accomplished that. We'll see when Madden 25 is released officially. So at the point of this video, by the time I have a microphone, I'm recording, even though I'm having to do it on my old computer, my little netbook that's pretty much fried. The demo for Madden 25 is already out. So, I don't know how many people will actually view this, especially, everyone's looking forward to 25. But now that I finally have the thing set up, I'm going to go ahead and put these videos out there. And as I move to the videos that are on the newer computer, put those out. And so hopefully you guys can see the progression that I made. Now again, the point of this series, I started off solely as a Madden Mastermind student. And so that is taking advice from the crew on Madden Mastermind as far as plays and so forth, setups, and from whether that be from the Debo guide, Dream Killers, watching tip videos from Matsu Chappie. One thing you're going to see in some of my videos here is my very poor pocket awareness. Maybe I'm dropping back and I drop back way too far, or I drop off to the side, and really that allows for your opponent to sack you easier, because that makes it easier for their rushers or edge rushers to go ahead and block shed and so forth. But I didn't know that, and so one thing that I did learn with time, and you'll see me do a better job of as we go along, is something I learned from Matsu Chappie, and that is to stay closer into the pocket, to not drop back so far. You know, drop back 3 to 5 steps if you're or less if you're from under center, and no more than 7 yards if you're in a shotgun. Keep it within that to help your offensive line out quite a bit. So that is one of the things that you'll see as we go along, as well as being able to make some more adjustments, better reads, and so forth as I get more comfortable with schemes. So another thing that I learned from Masu Chappie is I really love to run the ball. If I could, I would just run the ball all day. Of course, Denver is not the ideal team to do that with, but also because I just wanted to run the ball, I didn't give as much time to the passing game and put in the work that I should have. So that also slowed down my progression as far as my offense, being able to make correct reads. And then one day I was watching a Matsu Chappie tip video, and he mentioned the fact that some people love to run the ball. But what happens is when these individuals get into a 3rd and long or a must convert 4th down, and they need to pass, that they are unable to do so effectively because they have not put in the work on their passing game. So that's certainly the case in my case. Uh, Most of the time, if I make a good completion, is to 1 or 2 plays, whether it's the tight end streak or fade, or maybe the slant coming off the side, because those are the only things really that transition from the I form. The very first thing that I learned, and were the reads that I was comfortable with. I never really put in the sufficient time in learning the whole offensive scheme. To be like in real life, you have a Peyton Manning and he has a whole scheme available to him. He's going to use the whole scheme. But if he's to go down and another, quarterback comes in like Skeleton or something, they're going to have to greatly reduce the reads and with the scheme and not use the whole scheme. And so basically I limited myself. The scheme works. The people are open. It's just I'm not making the correct read. So that's a progression that you're going to see in me, I hope, as we go along, as well as I progress in using the defense, whether it be Debo and getting better and more efficient at that, using 4-3 stack at times, and so forth. And also later on, I also incorporate